equation with factoring by grouping. Solve the equation 15x squared minus 6x plus 20x minus 8 is equal to 0 by factoring by grouping and then applying the zero product rule. Here is our equation 15x squared minus 6x plus 20x minus 8 is equal to 0. So to factor by grouping, we want to group the first two terms together and we want to group the second two terms together. First, let's focus on the first two terms, ignoring the second two terms. So the first two terms are 15x squared minus 6x. And what I'm looking for is the greatest common factor between the first two terms. So the largest number that will go into both of these evenly is 3, and x is common to both terms. So we'll factor out a 3x from the first two terms. Factoring out a 3x, then I'm going to put down a set of parentheses for a binomial, and I want to see what's remaining once we factor out the 3x. So one question I can ask is 3x multiplied by what will give us 15x squared? And that answer is 5x. Another approach I could have taken is 15x squared divided by 3x will give us 5x. For the second term, 3x multiplied by what will give us a negative 6x, and that is minus 2. 3x times negative 2 is a negative 6x. I'll go ahead and bring this addition sign down in the middle. And now I'm going to ignore the first two terms and look at the second two terms. The second two terms are 20x minus 8. I'm looking for the greatest common factor of 20x minus 8. Both of those are divisible by 4, so I'll factor out a 4. They do not both have an x, so I cannot take out a variable. Now I'm going to ask the question, 4 multiplied by what will give me 20x? And that answer is 5x. Again, I could have also asked the question, 20x divided by 4 is what? And I would have gotten 5x as well. For the second term, 4 multiplied by what will give me negative 8, and that's minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to look and see what I have. I'm going to treat this as one term here, treat this as one term here, and so I want to write down the common binomial of 5x minus 2 and the expressions that are remaining, which is the 3x plus 4. Now we've taken the left side of the equation and we've factored the 4 terms by grouping. The factorization is the quantity 5x minus 2 multiplied by the quantity 3x plus 4. The next part of the problem is to solve the equation by applying the zero product rule. And the zero product rule states for the expressions a and b, if a times b is equal to 0, then either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. And so we're going to apply the zero product rule here by taking each of the individual factors and setting them equal to 0. So our first factor is 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. And our second factor is 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. So I'll treat these as two small individual problems and solve each one. So I'm going to start here by adding 2 to both sides of the equal sign. And I have 5x is equal to 2. This is multiplication between the 5 and the x. So the opposite operation there is division. And my first solution is x is equal to 2/5. In a similar manner, here I will subtract 4 So I have 3x is equal to negative 4, divide by 3, and x is equal to negative 4/3. I'm going to write my final answer using set notation, which is indicated by these braces. The negative 4/3 comes first on the number line. I will write that one first. So our first solution is negative 4/3. The second solution is 2/5. So by factoring, by grouping, and applying the zero product rule, the solutions to the equation 15x squared minus 6x plus 20x minus 8 equals 0 are negative 4/3 and 2/5.